Story time. Here's one I'm sure a lot of millennial kids and Minnesota kids can relate to. When I was growing up, Dad had a boat, and he still has it, but it hasn't been on the water in years. And I spent a lot of time as a kid in a tube tied to the back of that thing. Now, there must be some rule or law that states that if you want to murder your child, the only way you can legally get away with it is if you do it while they're inner tubing behind a boat. Because that is the only logical way to explain why dads drive the way they do while their children are inner tubing. Now, I'm a wiry little kid, and I got really good at hanging on to that inner tube. I mean, really good. To the point where Dad couldn't throw me anymore. And I kind of feel like he took that as a personal insult. Thinking what is probably the last time I went tubing behind his boat, the lengths he went to get me off of that tube were truly uncalled for. First he did the figure eights, drug me over the chop. Child's play for me. Did the high-speed S-curves to jump me in and out of the boat's wake. Didn't bother me. High-speed whip turns where you're doing 80 miles an hour, skipping across the top of the water at the end of the rope, having to hang on like it's one of those spinny merry-go-round wheels of death at the playground. Still couldn't throw me. But he was undeterred. He trims the boat all the way up so the nose is just pointing in the air like an Apollo rocket. Just starts slowly driving this thing in a circle. He goes around 4, 5, 6 times. Gets a nice 5-6 foot chop in this little area. Then he goes out and he makes a loop, and at the end of that loop, he turns hard and guns it, sending me on a high-speed whip so fast I'm pretty sure it could have made a fighter pilot pass out directly into that 5-6 foot chop. And I stayed on the tube for about the first 10 feet in the air until I abandoned all hope of trying to land that. I just remember seeing sky, water, sky, water, sky, water as I flew through the air like the world's worst Circus Olay trapeze artist. And I was up there long enough to reflect on my life choices, really analyze in intricate detail how painful my immediate future was going to be. Now, I'm not sure if the burns all over my skin were from re-entering Earth's atmosphere or smacking into the water at the speed of sound. I did know that my swim trunks were now around my ankles and my lungs were completely devoid of oxygen. And all I can hear is my dad, who at this point is already back to me because I'd been in the air so long that he had time to turn around and come back before splashdown, trying to describe what I had just experienced back to me through his uncontrollable laughter. And you should have seen it. The tube was like 10-15 feet off the water and you were another 10-15 feet above that. I bet that had to hurt coming back down. But unfortunately, you need air inside your body to tell somebody to go fuck themselves. And that is why I have trust issues.